welcome back to my channel, and today's video is going to be about my Tinder date from hell. That's the simplest way to put this one. Disclaimer, I did meet my boyfriend on Tinder, so I'm not trying to bash Tinder whatsoever. I'm just trying to say here that sometimes the people that are out there are not the best people. Yeah. So I want to start by saying that I'm not gonna disclose this person's name because, you know, I don't want to make them feel like they did something wrong, or like, you know, even though they did do something wrong, I don't want to put the person on blast on my YouTube channel. So instead of giving them the real name, I'm going to go with a fake name. So their fake name is going to be Jacob. Okay, so said name Jacob had hit me up on Tinder, and we were going back and forth, and he was operating it. And so kind of, you know, like regular Tinder talk, getting to know each other, and then kind of turn into like, hey, I want to meet you. Now I want to say that his pictures online looked very handsome, and he did know his angles, kind of foreshadowing to what's gonna happen. So come the day I meet him, I'm super excited to meet him. I'm like, oh my god, like I'm gonna meet this guy and he makes me feel super special and like yada yada yada. And so yeah, I was really excited to meet this guy. So at the time, why is my dog like this? So at the time, my friend, So at the time, my best friend from college had asked me if I needed someone to accompany me. And of course, you're meeting someone online for the first time. You're not really sure, you know, how it's going to turn out. Maybe the person's not what you thought who they were, you know, behind the screen, or yada yada. So I asked my friend to come with me, and she did come with me to meet him. Like, we met him together, and I had shown her a couple pictures of what he looked like. And then when we like actually met him, because we had to take the train all the way down to Central Park, which was where we were gonna meet, a very public place. We took the train down, and on that train ride I had shown her pictures of what he looked like on the Tinder profile. So come to the time that we're meeting him, she just gives me a look. She's like, right, like he doesn't look like the pictures on Tinder. And I was like, yeah, I know, I'm like here watching it too. So essentially, to give you a better perspective, the pictures on Tinder made him look taller, buffer, and overall better, if that makes sense. And when I saw him in person, he was shorter, skinnier, and nerdier. Okay, so yeah, now those are the difference between what he looked like in person and what he looked like on Tinder profile. So when I met him, I was like, you know what, you look different, a lot different, but I'm gonna ignore that because I'm not a superficial person. Like, I don't care what you look like as long as you have a great personality. And I want to emphasize that, a great personality, because what I mean by great personality is you really have to have, like, you know, you have to make me laugh, point blank. Like, if you can't make me laugh, there's an issue. If you make me laugh, that's amazing. What else? If you can make light out of like the dumbest thing, that's great. If you're overall positive, amazing. Like, these are the qualities that I looked for someone when I was looking on Tinder profile. So even if he didn't look the same as his profile, I still was willing to give him a chance and go out on the date with him. So I did not ditch him, and I continued on going with the date. So we walk around Central Park and we get to know each other, like, you know, little personality traits here and there. And it was great. He turned out to be a, you know, great conversationalist. I got to know him a little bit. And essentially Jacob was talking about like all the stuff that he had done in school and like what he was planning to do and where he was from. And it turned out he was someplace in New Jersey, which was not too far from the city, so we would just make the city our meetup spot. And so essentially comes a time where, you know, we're walking, we're like, this is great, like we're having a great time. And on this was our first date. On our first date, we decided to go to a diner. And we went to the diner and we proceeded to order, and this was the first sign that should have told me, like, stop sis, like, this is not for you. He ordered a big sandwich which had like all the deli cut meats in it. I'm not sure what the name of it is, but I'll put a picture right here. He ordered that sandwich, and I had ordered a bagel because I was not that hungry, but I was still kind of hungry. So I had ordered the bagel and he had ordered this big sandwich, and I was like, wow, like that's a huge sandwich. How are you gonna eat that? And he's like, well, you know, like this. And he just picks it up and like shoves his face into it. And like, I am one of those people who doesn't really care how you eat as long as you eat like a proper human being. Let me just say that. As long as you eat like a proper human being, I'm okay. And the way he was eating was not like a proper human being. Like, he was just shoving things in his face. Like, just like, he was the type of person that when they eat, they make you nauseous. And so he made me really, really nauseous. And I couldn't finish the bagel. Like, it was just not gonna, no. You know, we get the bill, he pays. It was horrid. Like, horrid experience. And then he's like, well, are you ready for the movie? And I'm like, okay, well, let's test your makeout skills. And we go to the movies, and we end up seeing like a weird movie. I don't remember the name. We go into the movies, and we go into like the nice chair area where, like, back then, let me just say, back then, there wasn't like, you know, the nice AMC couches that they have. So there wasn't those everywhere. So we went to the specific movie theaters that had the really nice couches where you can like lean back, nice air conditioning, and all that stuff. So we ended up going there, and he held my hand throughout the whole movie, and it was nice to have someone hold my hand after however many years of being single. So it felt really nice to have someone hold my hand, but he didn't kiss me once. So I thought there was something going wrong, like maybe he didn't feel, you know. And even after all of that, like, he ate like a pig, he didn't look like the pictures on his profile. Even after all of that, I was still willing to kiss him, and he like wasn't doing it. So he was just holding my hand, and we walked out of the movies. The movies finished, and it was like 9 p.m.-ish. We walk out of the movie theaters, we walk down Central Park, the side of Central Park, and we're like talking again, more and more, getting to know each other more and more, and I'm like, yes, he's gonna kiss me, he's gonna kiss me, he's gonna kiss me. And like, we get to the train, and he's like, you know what, like, I gotta go, bye. And I was like, right. So then I was like, you know what, maybe it's not meant to be. I hop on my train, and even if it's not meant to be, like, maybe it's not. Like, he didn't look like his picture, and he ate kind of like a little weird and made me nauseous. So taking all these things into consideration, I really thought that maybe it wasn't meant to be. So then I got a text later that day talking about,
I got really nervous to kiss you.
And I was like, well, like, I mean, it's fine, I understand. You know, the things you say to make a boy feel nice. He's like, yeah, you know, I was a little shy, and like, I didn't want to kiss you. And I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. Maybe there'll be a next time. Like, that's how I say it. And then days later, he's like, you know what, we should go on our second date. And I'm like, so you do like me. We go on our second date, and this is where things get ugly. You know, I'm all for a good personality, and I'm all for getting to know somebody, and I did give him a second date, so that says a lot in my opinion. But he took advantage of it. So we went to the park. We decided to go on a picnic for a second date. We ended up going to the park, one of the highway parks, literally right next to the highway in Midtown somewhere. And we kind of like had taken out our snacks, and we're eating and stuff. And we like decided to, you know, sit like this when your feet are kicking in the back or whatever, like have a grand old time. So yeah, we were like having fun essentially. And then we get to the part of the date that turned into something a little unwanted. We kind of sit there and we start playing 20 questions, and he asked me if he could kiss me. And I say, of course you can. He kisses me, and it was nice because it was a peck. Then he says, can I do it again? I'm like, of course you can. He proceeds to make out with me and stick his tongue down my throat. When I say down my throat, it's not like, I know what I'm doing. It's more like that. So it was kind of unpleasant. Didn't really like it. So as I proceeded to end that, because I was not a fan of it, I told him, you know, we should stop, like we're in a public place. And I was trying to make up, you know, excuses to just stop because I was just uncomfortable. And after I asked him to stop, he had said, why? And of course, something pops in my head. I'm like, well, there are children and we're in a park and this is kind of a public area. I don't want to continue making out with you. And so, you know what he says next? So what happens next is he looks over at the children and he literally says with a straight face, they'll learn what it is someday. What? They were literally like 4 years old. No. And I don't know where you thought this was gonna go in a public park, but no. Absolutely not. Jesus Christ. Anyway, after that, I was really scared and I kind of, you know, I wanted to protect myself because I didn't know where he thought it was going to go, especially in a public park. So I asked him that if he could walk me to the train because I had plans and I was late for my plans and I had forgotten I had plans with the people and yada yada yada. I made up an excuse and I asked him to walk me to the train and he did. He was very nice about it. But that made me feel super uncomfortable. The fact that he said that and like he was insinuating something else. So that would be my warning to any of you dating online. Like, be careful who you date because there are some creepy people out there, or some people that don't mean any good, or that don't have your best interest at heart kind of thing. Like, just be careful who you're dating. Be careful who you're seeing. Yeah, so that's my Tinder date from hell. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and take something away from it by not meeting random strangers and, you know, going to public parks and then they ask you to do something that you don't want to do or insinuate something that you don't want to do. But yeah, overall, just be safe. Date, because if you're single, I'm not single, but if you're single, like, date, because there's so many different people out there. And like, I was honestly with this guy, I was kind of settling. Like, he wasn't what I was looking for, and it was just, I was settling. But like, date, really date, and you know, look at the pool of people that are available for you. Don't settle. One thing I have to say, do not settle, because I have a man's and I did not settle, and I did date a lot before I started going out with Gerard. But yeah, so if there's anything I can give you guys from this video is advice, and please date as much as you can and don't do weird things that you're not comfortable with. And if your gut tells you there's something wrong, like maybe he eats weird and you don't like that, then just end it there. Don't be me and end it there. Anyway, if you liked the video, like and subscribe. Let me know what you think about my Tinder date from hell, and if you've ever had a Tinder date from hell, because I know a lot of you date online. Now it's the thing to do. If you have a Tinder date from hell story, leave it in the comments down below. If you ever dated someone that made you uncomfortable, tell me that story. You can name them something else like Jacob, and we'll just talk about the Jacobs in the world. Anyway, there's something going on outside. But with that being said, dance party.